Hey guys, welcome back to another snapshot video. Like last one, I would consider the snapshot a big one. There was a huge change to the game. The world height limit was changed. So the underground area extends by another 64 blocks. It doesn't stop at Y0, it now stops at Y minus 64. And also the build limit at the top was also increased by 64 blocks. You can now build up to Y 320. Mojang also added new types of caves to the world generation, so the old style of caves still exists in the game, but will additionally have new caves. For example, here we got one of the new caves that is filled from sea level to Y31 with water. A lot of the changes might be temporary, for example, being filled with water, so this might be changed later. But let's check out the new type of cave here. So it's definitely a lot larger than the cave systems we had before. Okay, we can also further go a bit underground and search for more. Here we got, another huge cave. So in general, they are just a lot more spacious than the ones we had before. And they would even reach all the way down to bedrock. So this was the cave I've shown first. This is really quite impressive. So we're down at Y minus 60. As before, we got the bedrock layer, which can be up to 5 blocks deep. And then after that, as before, we have void, and the void damage now doesn't start at minus 64. It should start at minus 129. So let's go all the way down. Yeah, up here you would take void damage. The new caves can also get absolutely massive. So here's one of the largest ones I found. At the moment we're down at minus Y40, and the ceiling above is like 50 blocks higher. You can also see it, the old style of caves sometimes also generates in between, but let's check out this huge cave I found. It's just absolutely massive. Also here and there you can see the geodes that got generated down there, so they also will generate in the negatives now. Here's some new mineshaft generation. I'll mention it later when I find a better example, but let's go to this huge cave again so we can fly through it, and it's just absolutely massive. Here we got something like a water pool that's encased by stone. This also looks quite interesting. Some of the caves are filled with water and some of them aren't. So let's fly through it. It's just absolutely massive. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's huge. What's currently missing, but I'm not too sad about, is the fact that caves get filled with lava, so we don't have that at the moment. With the old world generation, caves between Y0 and Y10 were always filled with lava, which got pretty annoying if you were mining for diamonds. So usually did it above Y10 in order to avoid those lava lakes, so currently we don't have that. We still have those smaller lava lakes that get generated, or single lava sources like before, but not every cave will get filled with lava at the moment. This might change later though. Also, talking about diamond mining, diamonds would also, and other ores would generate like before from Y15 downwards. So currently can easily go diamond mining, for example, in the big caves. Quite easy to find some, but the ore distribution or the generation will also change in the future. We haven't done much testing regarding the mob spawning algorithm yet. This might also change in upcoming snapshots again, but from the looks of things, the mob spawning works quite similar to before. So you can get hostile mobs all the way down to Y minus 64. And instead of trying to spawn the mobs between Y0 and the highest block, we'll just try to spawn them between Y minus 64 and the highest block. So this would also mean, in case you want to make a perimeter, potentially you would need to dig out a lot more blocks than before, because there's just so much more stone between surface level and the lowest level now. The mineshafts also got an update, so they still generate basically the same way as before, but they will no longer be free floating. So they will now have support pillars that are made out of oak wood at the moment. So those are not oak logs, it's actually oak wood. Okay, let's fly around to see a couple more of them. So those support pillars can also become very long. They will always extend down to the floor level. Here we can see another example of a mineshaft with support pillars. Another change was that cobwebs will also no longer be free floating, so they will always have a supporting block on the side. Okay, so at the moment I'm using a really high gamma value in order to be able to show you all of this. But I can also try to adjust this and set it to a normal value to see how bright it actually is down here. Yeah, it's actually very dark. So sometimes you can see some of the new glow lichen on the side. It would also not generate in the caves, but in general it's very dark down here. At the moment, it's not possible to open an older world in a new snapshot. You have to create a new world to experience this. But there's one question that's very interesting, how the transition or the conversion of the older worlds will work in the end, especially the question what will happen below Y0 in the old worlds. So will there just be no blocks like before, or will they maybe remove the bedrock and replace it with the new cave generation below? This question is also very interesting for us Cycroft players, because we spend so much time removing everything down to bedrock in order to create a perfect conditions for mob spawning and build farms very low in the world. If we would just have more world generation below that, the upcoming update, then basically all of this work would be useless. Definitely be very interesting for us to see. With the new cave generation, for example, a witch hut will also only be half as efficient, because the game will try to spawn mobs between Y64 and the highest block, which in the case of the witch hut would be around Y70 now, so only half of the witches would spawn there, even in perfect conditions. Let's also check out the top of the world. It's definitely really strange that the build limit is now at 322 blocks positive. So in total, we will have 384 blocks available for building from -64 to 320. Yeah, from up here, the normal vanilla rendering, apart from the mountains, you couldn't even see the biomes down there anymore. Let's actually jump down, see how long this would take now. Yeah, here's the swamp. So that's definitely fantastic that we can build up this high. Would have actually hoped for even more, that we could build up to maybe 512, but that's already 64 extra blocks, which I really appreciated. The build limit change also has an effect in regards to the temperature. Now we can actually have snow layers or snow in a river biome. So at the moment we are at Y304. Actually, snow layers are forming here. If you go down a little bit here on the side, still a river biome, this would turn into rain at around Y280. Previously, this wasn't really accessible, but now we could technically make a powder snow farm in a river biome. Other biomes you can now experience snowfall in are all the ocean biomes, including the warm and the lukewarm ocean. So around Y280, rain would turn into snow and snow layers would form here. It's also worth checking out a world with amplified terrain generation, with the build limit being higher now, should be even more impressive. So I was quite lucky on the world I created. I spawned directly next to a woodland mansion with a huge cobble base at the bottom. But I think this doesn't extend below Y250 yet. Let's actually have a flight around and see if we can find some structures that are even higher now. I also really like the mountain village here, but it's just a side note. So I found some mountains that would now extend past Y250. Check this one out. This is just absolutely massive if you see it from the ocean level. It goes up all the way to 320. So let's check it out. Oh my god. This is so good. I really want to play on the amplified world now. Check it out. So here we are at 310. I think the mountain top out of the trees here. Yep, this is the highest block in the world. Let's have a little fun. Let's check out the world's tallest cactus from -63 all the way up to 320. Okay, this is quite impressive. This change means we can also make a more efficient cactus farm now, since you can fit 50% more in a single chunk. Methods also recently had the issue that he wanted to make a cactus-based furnace XP farm, and his cactus farm got too big. So now we can make it 50% more efficient. Earlier I actually forgot to extend my render distance. It was at 17 chunks. I set it to 32 chunks, and now we can really appreciate the amplified world generation of a 320 blocks high world. Oh my god. So the video card is definitely making some noise, but wow. So I really love the new world generation. I'd like to do even more tests right now, but I have to get this video out eventually. Let's actually also talk about some other changes in the snapshot. The Dripleaf was changed slightly. So one of the changes was if you crouch down on a Dripleaf, it would now also tilt. There's also a new way to prevent the Dripleaf from tilting. It's powering it. So now we can't force through the Dripleaf anymore. It still makes some sounds, but it doesn't tilt unless we depower this. I'm not sure if it's intended, but you can also use this behavior right now to make a simple clock. Just need to power Dripleaf, put an armor stand on it, and then an observer would detect the Dripleaf trying to tilt. Oh, by the way, jumping will also no longer prevent the Dripleaf from tilting, so if you have a parkour, you gotta be quick to jump. Projectiles will also cause the Dripleaf to tilt instead of break now. It seems like this could be quite interesting for a Spleef-like minigame, where players maybe try to get each other off a platform. This could be quite fun. A bedrock or essentially all... Okay, that's all for today. There was some really good stuff from the Mojang team once again in this snapshot. Really looking forward to the next snapshots and the release of 1.17. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!